classical game over the board. Let's see if today is going to be the first time. Gukesh opens with d4. Vincent replies with knight to f6. And now the pawn comes up to c4. Vincent plays his pawn to e6. And Gukesh goes out with knight c3 with the idea of bishop b4. And he's played it. He's put his bishop on b4. Knight comes out to f3. And now d6. Slightly less played move. More common are the moves d5 or castles. And Gukesh now puts his queen on c2. Black quickly castles it out. And Gukesh may want to put his pawn to e3, but before closing his bishop down on c1, he brings it out to g5. Now, the bishop pins the knight. White has a nice center, but the fact that Vincent is moving quickly means that he is well prepared. a3 played, asking the bishop where it wants to go. It has to take on c3, bishop takes c3. And after queen takes c3, now, well, you could also take with the pawn, but then the fact that you have the queen here, you want to take it with the queen. So queen takes c3. We have a position where white has the bishop pair, just like a Nimzo-Indian, but black is slightly ahead in development. So Gukesh may want to keep this pin. He goes bishop h4. Now g5 is a common idea in such positions, but Vincent plays rook e8 pretty quickly, and he wants to maybe break with the move e5. That is his idea. And in order to stop that, Gukesh can go e3, and he doesn't stop this, but he actually goes long castle. Wow. And now e5 is not possible because after take, and queen e5, you have blundered material as black. So that's the reason why you will have to continue with something like queen e7, makes sense, or g5 with knight e4 coming in. Or Vincent, as he seems to be well prepared, plays bishop d7. He thought for quite some time before making this move, but it blocks the d file and prepares e5 break. Gukesh now goes e3, simple chess, and now maybe e5 is definitely a possibility, because after takes you can take with the knight. Now there is no pin here, but instead, well, he plays e5. He's gone for e5, and now Gukesh thinking over here. He plays this move queen c2, so that the ideas of knight e4 later on do not become a possibility to hit the queen. He moves his queen away, and now bishop g4 is a very good move. Queen e7 is a nice move, but he goes a6, and with a6 now white can actually push his pawn to d5. Also a very good idea is rook g1 with the idea of g4 g5. Should not be underestimated, these attacking ideas in such positions. So maybe Gukesh just pushes his pawn. Don't know what he's planning to do, but definitely white's position looks oh, he goes bishop d3. Now this is a very interesting move, because e4 is somewhere on the cards. If you take here, I go g5. That's also possible, but instead he's played the move g5, which is maybe not the best idea, because now, okay, if you play bishop g3, e4 would win material, but Gukesh takes on e5 first. And his idea is that if you take here, then already I can sack and pin it here. So he actually keeps the d file closed. Vincent takes it with the knight. And now Gukesh chops off the knight on e5. And the best move is to take with the pawn, although it looks very shaky after bishop g3, bishop f5 is weak, and so on. He goes rook e5, but clearly missing the next move of Gukesh. Try to think what is the best move for white here. Amazing move found by Gukesh. Yes, plays it f4. Excellent chess here, because now after f4, if you take here, I take back, this pin still remains. If you don't, you have to keep control of the g5 square. If you go back, you are losing the g5 pawn. So Vincent is in big trouble. I think he missed this move f4. He plays his rook to c5. This rook is precariously positioned. But okay, if you take here, the rook is actually controlling the g5 square, so maybe it's fine. But Gukesh has never feared moving pawns in front of the king. He goes b4, which is a great move. b4 is on the board, and now the rook has to leave the 5th rank. So Vincent comes back, and now he has to move his rook away. He plays rook c6. He has some ideas here. I guess you have to take on g5. That's a must. So Gukesh takes. If you take back, I'm going to take with the bishop with a winning position. But Vincent had on his mind knight g5. Now, threatening here, you can't take the pawn because the bishop would hang. e3 pawn is hanging. So a lot of things going on. But once again, Gukesh finds the best move, bishop h7. If you go to h8, then after bishop e4, there are always queen c3 checks and the e3 pawn is safe. He goes f8, which is more logical. And here Gukesh has to find a powerful move. And I think he'll be able to do that because he's a brilliant attacker. Rook hf1, fantastic move. The threat is to take, king takes, queen g6 check. It's for not nothing that we recorded an attacking manual with Gukesh on the chess-based video course. He's an amazing attacker. Okay, Vincent defends it here, also attacks here. Gukesh goes g6. What a move. Because now if queen takes bishop, rook takes f7, followed by queen e4 is just killing. So he has to go f6. But now Gukesh can carefully finish this off. Let's see what's the move that comes to mind. I think h3, kicking the knight away, that is defending. Yes, he finds it. And the main point being that if you take on e3, I would take on f6. That is the major point here. And then if you take on c2, I would take on e7 with a check. And then eventually this g pawn is very, very powerful. So he goes d5 here, defending here, also creating a threat of rook takes c4. But Gukesh is an amazing attacker. He quickly spots the way to win. He first takes on g4, so now he's a piece up. Yes, he's going to lose his queen after rook takes c4, but that's not an issue because now the f6 point is very, very soft. So rook takes c4, and now queen takes c4 is also possible, but he goes rook f6. And if king g7, there is rook f7 when you are a piece up. And so he went king e8. And this is where Gukesh had to maybe calculate a bit carefully because he's losing the queen. He needs to have the right compensation, and he goes g7. What a nice move. This move just basically prepares bishop g6 check. Once the king goes in this diagonal, there will be a deadly discovered check. And even though Gukesh has sacrificed his queen here, just this rook, two bishops and a pawn are so powerful. And the rook on a8 has been a complete bystander there, doing absolutely nothing. Bishop takes c2 has happened. And then now bg6 check coming in. Vincent does take the pawn. Gukesh sits down now. He has many ways to convert this into a win, but the simplest is bishop g6. If king d8, rook f8 is a mate,